These two white powders look identical, but use one instead of the other in your recipe and you'll ruin it completely. This is potato flour. This is potato starch. And the internet constantly confuses them. Recipes use the names interchangeably. Articles claim they're the same. Even some product labels are unclear. If you're gluten-free and trying to navigate baking without wheat, this confusion is maddening. You follow a recipe exactly, and it fails. Why? Wrong powder. But once you understand potato flour, what it actually is, how it works, when to use it, it becomes one of the most valuable ingredients in gluten-free baking. So let's clear up the confusion and unlock the power of potato flour. Let's start with the critical distinction. Potato flour is made from whole cooked potatoes, skin, flesh, everything, that are dried and ground into powder. It contains the entire potato, starch, fiber, protein, and a distinctive potato flavor. Potato starch is extracted from raw potatoes through a washing and separation process. It's only the starch, pure, flavorless, and completely different in behavior. Key differences. Color. Potato flour, slightly off-white to cream, may have tiny darker flecks. Potato starch, bright white, pure white. Texture. Potato flour, slightly gritty, heavier. Potato starch, silky smooth, ultra-fine. Flavor. Potato flour, distinct potato taste. Potato starch, completely flavorless. Protein. Potato flour, contains protein, about 8%. Potato starch, 0 protein, pure carbohydrate. Moisture absorption. Potato flour absorbs massive amounts of moisture. Potato starch thickens liquids but doesn't absorb same way. When shopping, make sure the label specifically says potato flour or potato starch. If it just says potato powder, check ingredients list. Critical, they are not interchangeable in recipes. Using one when the recipe calls for the other will fail. Understanding how potato flour is made helps you understand why it behaves the way it does. Step 1. Potatoes are thoroughly washed. Some producers remove skins, others leave them on, which creates darker flour with more fiber. Step 2. Potatoes are cooked, usually steamed, until completely cooked through. This is crucial. Raw potatoes become starch. Cooked potatoes become flour. Step 3. Cooked potatoes are dried using hot air or drum drying. All moisture is removed, leaving dried potato flakes or pieces. Step 4. The dried potato is ground into fine flour. The result: a flour that contains everything in the cooked potato, starches, proteins, fibers, and that distinctive potato flavor. Potato flour retains some vitamin C, unusual for a shelf-stable flour, has decent fiber, and that 8% protein content that helps with structure in gluten-free baking. Here's what makes potato flour special. It's a moisture magnet. Potato flour can absorb and hold significantly more moisture than wheat flour, sometimes up to 80% of its weight in water. Why this matters? Baked goods stay moist longer. Much longer. Gluten-free baked goods notoriously dry out quickly. Most gluten-free breads are stale by day 2. Add potato flour, they stay fresh for a week. This is why commercial gluten-free bakeries love potato flour. It extends shelf life without additives or preservatives. Additional benefits. Creates tender crumb. Prevents that sandy texture common in gluten-free baking. Adds slight richness. Helps baked goods brown beautifully. The flavor factor. Yes, potato flour has potato flavor, but it's mild and becomes even milder when baked. In small amounts, 10 to 20% of flour blend. Most people can't detect it. It's actually less noticeable than other alternative flours like chickpea or coconut. Where does potato flour shine? Let's break it down. Gluten-free bread. This is the star application. Use potato flour as 15 to 25% of your flour blend. It adds moisture, helps with structure, protein content, and keeps bread fresh for days instead of hours. Rolls and buns. Same principle. The moisture retention means your gluten-free rolls stay soft instead of turning into hockey pucks overnight. Pancakes and waffles. Substitute 25 to 30% of the flour with potato flour. The result? Fluffier, more tender, and they don't get rubbery when they cool. Cakes and muffins. Use 10 to 20% potato flour in the blend. Creates incredibly moist, tender cakes that stay fresh. Perfect for birthday cakes that need to be made ahead. Pizza dough. Add 15% potato flour to your gluten-free pizza dough. Improves chewiness and prevents that cardboard texture. Not ideal for cookies. Too much moisture retention makes them soft/cakey. Delicate pastries. Potato flavor more noticeable. Pie crusts. Better options exist. Anything where you want crispy/crunchy texture. Bonus. Even in regular wheat flour baking, adding 5 to 10% potato flour extends freshness. Bagel bakeries have used this trick for decades. Here's how to actually use potato flour in your recipes. Golden rule: never use 100% potato flour. It needs to be part of a flour blend. In gluten-free flour blends, basic all-purpose blend, 40% white rice flour, 30% brown rice flour or sorghum flour, 15% potato flour, 10% tapioca starch, 5% potato starch, 1 teaspoon xanthan gum per cup of blend. Adding to existing gluten-free recipes. If a recipe calls for gluten-free flour blend, you can improve it by replacing 15 to 20% of that blend with potato flour. Example: recipe calls for 2 cups GF blend. Use 1 2/3 cups GF blend plus 1/3 cup potato flour. Liquid adjustment. Because potato flour absorbs so much moisture, you may need to add 2 to 3 tablespoons extra liquid per cup of potato flour used. Start with less, add as needed. In regular wheat flour baking, replace 5 to 10% of wheat flour with potato flour for extended freshness. Example: recipe calls for 3 cups wheat flour. Use 2 3/4 cups wheat flour plus 1/4 cup potato flour. No other adjustments needed at this low ratio. If recipe calls for potato starch, you usually cannot directly substitute potato flour. They're too different. You'd need to reformulate the recipe entirely. Let's talk about what goes wrong. Mistake number 1. Using too much potato flour. More isn't better. Above 25 to 30% of your flour blend, you get dense, heavy texture, pronounced potato flavor, gummy interior, poor rise. Stick to 15 to 25% for most applications. Mistake number 2. Not adjusting liquids. Potato flour absorbs significantly more liquid than other flours. If your dough seems too dry, add liquid gradually. Better slightly wet than too dry. Mistake number 3. Confusing it with potato starch. This bears repeating. They're not the same. Check your label before buying. Check your label before using. Mistake number 4. Using in wrong applications. Potato flour retains moisture, great for bread, terrible for crispy cookies. Know when not to use it. Mistake number 5. Poor storage. Potato flour contains fat from the whole potato. It can go rancid faster than pure starches if stored at room temperature long term. Proper storage. Airtight container essential. Refrigerator for up to 6 months. Freezer for up to a year. Bring to room temperature before using. Let's talk about keeping your potato flour fresh. Unlike potato starch or white rice flour, potato flour contains small amounts of fat from the whole potato. This means it can go rancid if stored improperly. Signs it's gone bad: off smell, sour, rancid, or stale. Discoloration, yellowing, or darkening. Unusual taste when a tiny amount is tasted. Optimal storage. Container: glass jar or heavy-duty plastic container with airtight seal. Vacuum seal bags work even better. Location: refrigerator or freezer. Seriously, the cold significantly extends shelf life. Labeling: date when you opened it or purchased. From freezer: measure what you need, let it come to room temperature 15 to 20 minutes before mixing into recipes. This prevents temperature shock to your dough. Shelf life: room temperature 1 to 2 months max. Refrigerated 6 months. Frozen 12 months or more. Remember that one thing you should never do with potato flour? Here it is. Never use potato flour as a thickener for soups, gravies, or sauces. What happens? Potato flour contains proteins and fibers along with starch. When you try to use it like a thickener, it creates a thick, gluey, gummy texture with an overwhelming potato flavor. This is where the confusion between potato flour and potato starch causes the most problems. For thickening use: potato starch, yes, the other one. Cornstarch, arrowroot powder, tapioca starch. The rule: potato flour equals baking, bread, cakes, muffins. Potato starch equals thickening, sauces, gravies, soups. Get this wrong, and your results will be disastrous. Let's recap the essentials. Potato flour is not equal to potato starch. Completely different products made from whole cooked potatoes. Contains protein, fiber, starch, moisture magnet. Keeps baked goods fresh for days. Use 15 to 25% in gluten-free flour blends, perfect for bread, rolls, muffins, cakes, pancakes. Avoid for cookies, thickening sauces, crispy applications. Store in refrigerator or freezer. Prevents rancidity. May need extra liquid. 2 to 3 tablespoons per cup. Never use 100%. Always part of a blend. Where to buy? Most health food stores carry it. Online is easiest. Look for Bob's Red Mill Potato Flour, King Arthur Potato Flour, Authentic Foods Potato Flour. Make sure the label says potato flour, not potato starch. Potato flour isn't magic, but it's close. For gluten-free bakers, it solves the freshness problem that's plagued gluten-free baking forever. And even if you're not gluten-free, that moisture-retaining property makes it valuable for extending the life of any baked goods. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into ingredients that actually matter. Check out my potato starch video to understand that ingredient too, and why you need both in your gluten-free pantry. Until next time, bake with confidence and stop confusing your flours.